Alright, boys and girls, this is a remake of a video now with working audio. I had some issues with the last one with no dialogue, and that was a kind of a necessary component in the whole thing. My game's a bit laggy. I think my population is a bit too big. I usually push the limits of things when I master plan these grand city, but this is pretty much strictly for show and tell kind of a thing. In fact, what I'll do to make it smoother for the tour part is I'll pause it, I guess. I'm hoping it smoothens out a little bit. I'm using a graphics mod that enhances the textures. That's actually not what causes the lagging. It's a 32-bit game. Only so much can happen before it starts to stutter, and I would love for them to redo this game with a 64-bit client. Maybe a remaster would be lovely, but neither here nor there right now. This is just an old classic game that I really enjoy, and I have master planned a sort of custom city across the Nile. We have on the west side we have it's mostly tombs. I have tons of pyramids, extreme numbers of pyramids. When I master plan my next one, it will not be this ridiculous, and it is ridiculous. Lots of choices for the nobility to have their tombs. The pharaonic tombs are the larger ones. The small ones, like this one, is those are for royal family members. And I designed the landscapes here, so I put the weeds and grasses, the trees, rocks. I tried to make it look as organic as possible. So the river and the banks, that's kind of my put together. This is all floodplain in case you build out enough to farm it. This is the right wing of the farming. It's on the right side of the docks. These buildings here are houses of people who make bricks. That is my primary currency. These houses that you see here, they're priests. This is a papyrus maker. I have the papyrus person close to the priest so that they can get their papyrus, and so can the scribe here. I glorify scribes by putting statues of Thoth or Jehuti or Jahucha, however you want to say it. There's a bread maker, and these are a cluster of shrines. This one's to Ma'at, Ra, Isis, Bastet, Amun, that's my patron god, and I put fancy palm trees in front of them. Osiris, Ptah, and it looks like Hathor. Anyways, that one is Anubis, and I put the Anubis shrine near the mortuary facility so that people that are mourning can pay Anubis a visit and try to get it out of their system and move on. Not that grief really works like that, but that's just how I'm callously describing it. This is a temple to Amun. Since I have a temple to Amun, I try to not have shrines to him really close by, so that might be something I want to change. That's Amun. Let's change that one to Hapi, the river god. Anyways, back to the tour. Let's see, we'll go further down. I've designed this game so that nobles near the banks had their own resource nodes around them, like they could, as if they controlled them, that sort of thing, to give their houses a bit more meaning, give craftsmen places to go to get materials. Um, this is a hospital, and that is a apothecary. And some more shrines and a temple. And another noble house with flowers, pomegranates, henna, sugar dates, oil trees, flax is crucial for making clothing. And these are extra glorified scribe houses. They're predominantly tax collectors. I have the statues of Jehuti and small seated pharaoh statues. So for me, scribes are the most important people in the game and in actuality. But that's my prejudice. It's my harbor area. I decided to, since I use bricks as currency, bricks and gold to get lots of extra food, I just decided to have an easy access point for them. I've designed the land so that if the Nile overflows, it won't destroy anything, really. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I operate. I decided to make a paradise, and it worked out pretty well. This is the left wing beyond the docks, and it is very similar. You see these buildings here, they're farmhouses near the bank. Well, not the bank, but near the floodplain. They're ready to do some farming. I think some farmers are trying to evade taxes by producing fields over this way. They've done that. I've seen fields over here every now and again, and more bricks and shops to support the bricks makers. Of course, you have the nobles, mortuary temples, shrines, a temple, a mortuary, not a temple, but a service. And I tend to keep the mortuary near the hospital and the apothecary, just to keep it central so people can get their death care, their health care. And yeah. So further this way is more the work or laborer community. Lots and lots of brick makers. You can see their houses here. Tons and tons of them. And lots of papyrus makers. All these are part of general use and export, maintaining certain operations that I've put forth. This is the river god, excuse me, temple. So more of the same. We got the hospital, the apothecary, and the death care provider, mortuary area, and these are overseers' apartments. So since they're typically Ra people, I adorn their houses with statues of Ra. There are some in the towns, but these are chiefly folks that are in charge of mining operations. Turquoise, gold, tin, copper. This is just one area. Since Hathor is the goddess of turquoise, I put her up here. And shrine Amun and Ra. So Amun, Ra, and Hathor on a prominent spot, just for pretty sake. And there's some more mines, copper and tin. I decided to spice it up a little bit and put some on the top. And there's quartz and stuff. Now, if you notice in the distance, well, you'll see some pyramids. This is the left entrance to my city. It's pretty big, walled. The main entrance to the city faces the Nile. So I'll zoom in over here, and I'll have it face the Nile real quick, just to take a quick jaunt this way. And there we go. So there's the Nile. It would be a bit impressive to walk something like that. It's a bit simple in its representation, but there we are, across the way are the big monuments, the big tombs and pyramids, and there's some on this bank. But this road, leading up, that temple in the center that we're heading for, that is the cult temple of Amun. And that is part of a temple complex, the entrance of which has two grand obelisks on each side. And this is inspired a bit by Karnak in Thebes. So I have lots of shrines at the top entrance, lots of granaries in here. They have lots of flax, papyrus, sugar dates, or date palms, pomegranates, oil trees, acacia, and I've sort of made it symmetrical for the most part. So that's how that is, so that people can come here to the center to harvest materials to manufacture goods. So we have the cult temple of Amun here, and numerous god-tending priests to keep things running smoothly. I put obviously every tree and bush in this. I've lined the walkway with statues of Amun. And just down there is Ra and Horus. And that's Ra, that's Horus. This is Isis, not to be confused with the terrorist organization. And this is Osiris. I sometimes think that they called it Isis just to take a wild piss and shit all over ancient Egypt, but who knows. I just think it's a nasty thing to use as a homonym. There's Hathor, and there's Thoth, or Jehuti, the god of writing and wisdom. And there's a collection of shrines. These are the collection of shrines at the entrance. The main entrance is more modest, but the shrines on the back are very numerous, and they pretty much cover all the possible gods that one could worship, even Set. So Set, Sobek, the crocodile god, all that jazz. And in the main city, I have schools everywhere out of extreme necessity. I've had them in weird places in desperate attempts to keep my graduates level high. I'm not having a lot of success with that, to be honest. So people aren't doing all that they could to keep things running as smoothly as possible. I don't know what to do, but for the most part, the folks are happy and things are at least able to keep going. So this is a school. I'll try to zoom in a bit. It's not that impressive, really. But there's a school. And I am using an enhanced graphics thing, so it looks a little schmancier than the original, with a priest apartment on both sides. And, yeah, they teach the children of nobles and luxury goods makers. And I think entertainers might be able to have kids go in there. I don't know for sure. And I have a method for my markets. It's usually ubiquitous when I do these. I have things that relate to one another, typically. So, in this case, I think I threw that out the window, though. So that's pretty wild. Pretty wild. I'm going to go to a cluster where I have my normal setup. I don't know why the hell I had that set up that way, but boy, did I kind of goof there. Still within the walls of the city. Let's see. I'll zoom in here. That was a little bit embarrassing for me. All right, my typical setup. Linen. That is worn about the body and used in making of cloth. So also put on the body as clothing is sandals. So I have sandals next to the linen. Also about the body is jewelry. So I have a jewelry shop. Also put about the body is cosmetics. So there's the lovely cosmetics that people can wear so they can look their absolute best. And then perfumes, incidentally, something else that is put about the body. And let's see. Behind there is the sculpture shop, kind of household effects. And here's a furniture, which is part of household effects. And then the mat maker for people to sleep on and use for whatever, maybe dine on. And materials made from mats are baskets. Everybody needs baskets. And in that same vein, a container, the pottery. So that's my method. So tra-la to that. So this is the city proper. Near the gates, there's commanders, I think overseers as well. Commanders and city guards. They're small in number. I don't have too many of them. Just one city guard barracks per town entrance. There's really not any crime that needs to be fought. They're there mostly for show. So I'm going to let people move around and do their thing. But there we go. They're bringing in huge amounts of food, allowing me to basically, since I have these resources going, every year I can have festivals, even in times of extreme poverty, because I have lots of bricks being made, and things are just pretty much able to keep in good order. So I'm going to let the music play for a few minutes and just kind of go down in everybody's business to hear some of the chatter.
Oh no, I've gone and sewed it to my dress again. I hate when I do that.
I honestly think my commute gets a little worse each year.
Here's my exchange. Lots of goods are brought here to be distributed amongst laborers and craftsmen. This is usually a bustling
When you
merchant
learn the
center.
counting glyphs, you can question your assessment.
Usually this is bustling with foreign traders, but not right now. This is maybe the temple area. The kitty. Woo! Did not mean to do that. Sorry.
never come home to Moswin sitting around in a dirty loincloth and drinking beer.
There but for the grace of a moon go we, as the saying goes.